Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anastasia. On this channel I talk about investing and especially investing for beginners. So if you're just about to start investing or you have just started, you don't know what you're doing, you want to get more information about it, you might consider subscribing to my channel because these are the topics that I cover in my videos. If you are a more experienced investor or a day trader, you can also leave your recommendations on what I should do and how I should do it in the comments below my videos, and I might follow them. No promises guys, but I might. Anyway, whoever you are, if you are watching this video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you like it, if you think it's useful or interesting, please click the like button below. If you have any thoughts that you would like to share with me, also leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much. This video will be about Vanguard and specifically Vanguard UK because this is the platform that I use myself. And I have already recorded several videos about Vanguard. I have a specific playlist for Vanguard on my channel. If you want to see these videos, you can click this button here, or I will also leave the links in the description box below this video. But there was one topic that I haven't covered yet, and this is about how to choose the best fund for you, for your strategy on Vanguard UK. There are many funds, there are 75 different funds, and it is great to have such a big choice because it is very difficult to choose the fund that you want to invest in out of 75 different funds that Vanguard UK offers to its clients. This is one of the things that they are very proud about, and this is something that they advertise. We have 75 funds, you can choose whatever you want. It is great to have a choice, but when you are a beginner, you may get lost, you may get confused, and it may take you a very long time. In my experience, at the beginning, I made a mistake of investing into a fund just because I heard about it before. I spoke about it in the video where I talked about the mistakes I made when I opened my account on Vanguard. So I don't want you to repeat my mistakes, but I also want you to choose the fund that you want to invest in, something that suits your needs, something that fits with your strategy. And this is not the same fund. That's why Vanguard offers us such a big choice, because we're all different and we all want to invest into different things. So now I made a list of the steps that I follow when I choose the fund. I will tell you in this video about these steps. I think it is very important to follow all of these steps when choosing your fund, but the order doesn't really matter. I think a lot of people, when they open the page on Vanguard with the list of all the funds that they have to offer, is to open the previous performance and to base your decision just by looking at the previous performance of this fund. But you always have to remember that the past performance doesn't indicate future results. That's why I think it is so important to look at other things rather than just the previous performance. So to make things that I'm talking about clearer, let's look at how the page of Vanguard UK looks. You don't have to be registered on Vanguard to see these funds and to see the information about the funds that I'm going to share with you. All you have to do is to open their homepage. The address is vanguardinvestor.co.uk. This is the page that you will see. You can scroll down. This is how it looks. Just make sure that you are on the actual Vanguard page and not some scammy website. What we have to do is click here on what we offer and see the full list of funds. They offer 75 matching funds. These life strategy funds are not the funds that I wanted to talk with you about. I want to tell you more about how to choose a specific fund. Don't repeat my steps just because I told you about them. I'm not a financial advisor. No way. So the first thing that you should pay attention at is where the companies or where the fund that you are going to invest in is situated geographically. What ideally shouldn't happen in your portfolio is all funds to be in the same geographical location, for example in the US. Because what will happen to your portfolio, what will happen to your funds in case the economy of the US goes down? Some unstable situation, some problems, and your whole portfolio will go down. Ideally, you want to balance it out. For example, if you invested into several funds that cover the US, then you also want to invest into European funds or into Asian funds or just global funds that cover the whole world. It is pretty easy to understand where the companies that fund invests money in are situated. Usually it is mentioned in the name of the fund, and also all the funds on Vanguard are divided into groups depending on their geographical position. For example, global, that means that the fund covers the companies from all over the world. Europe, again global, that's just two different types of funds. UK, Japan, Asia Pacific, US, emerging markets. So you have to choose the fund depending on the geographical position of this fund. In my portfolio, for example, I keep some US funds, I also keep some European funds, and I also keep some Asian funds, so that in case one part of the world has a bad economy, the other part of the world has a better economy. Then the next thing that I pay attention at is the ongoing charge of the fund. They all look pretty low sums, and these prices are quite low. This is what Vanguard is known for. But if your strategy is long term, for example like mine, I invest into Vanguard with the thought of taking this money out when I get retired, which is in 30 or 40 years, this ongoing charge will sum up, and at the end it will be a very big sum. So obviously you want to make it as cheap as possible. The ongoing charge depends on the fund, mainly depends on whether the fund is active or passive. If you see this yellow sign like here under Global Emerging Markets Fund, you see the yellow sign saying active. That means that there is an actual person, the manager of this fund, who takes care of your money. When a person is replaced by a technology, it's usually cheaper. The ongoing charge for active funds will always be higher. Look, compare 0.78 comparing to 0.22 or 0.25. It is almost 3 times more expensive. The next column shows you what type of asset you will be investing your money in. For example, all the funds here on this page are 100% equity. That means that you invest into companies, you buy shares of different companies. But if we go into the fixed income section, then we see that it is a 100% bonds. Bonds is a different type of asset. You don't buy a share, but you lend your money to a company, or you lend your money to the government, and this company or government give you the guarantee that they will pay you this money back at a later stage. And the next column is also very important. This is where you can see your risk score for a certain fund. Bonds are very low risk because, as I said, you are almost guaranteed that you will get your money back through bonds. But all the equity funds, they have higher risks. Then you can see the previous performance, but before we go there, I would like to show you some extra information that you can see about every fund. You can do it with any fund, but for example, let's take Germany All Cap ETF, this one. You have to click on it, and you have a new page open where you see the market price of this fund. Because it's Vanguard UK, you see this price in British pounds. So at the moment you would have to invest 24.3 pounds into it. And the price change for today, so today it has lost 1.18%. Then you see the number of stocks, and truly speaking, in my opinion, of course I might be wrong, but here you want to have as many stocks as possible, because the more stocks you have, the bigger the diversification is. It's like you buying one company, or you buying 100 companies, or you buying 1,000 companies in the same fund. It's logical that if you invest into 1,000 companies straight away, then the chances of you losing money are much lower. The next tab is an ongoing charge. It's just the repetition of something that you saw on the first page, and the risk score. Here at the top, this was just an overview. If you go to price and performance tab, you will see more information. So you will see the market value, how the price changed in one day, and 52-week high, 52-week low. So you can get the general idea of where the price that you are going to pay stands, whether it's all-time high or it's lower than usual. You can get this understanding from this graph. You can also look at historical prices, and then they show you the graph so that it's more visual. For some people it's much easier. You can check the past performance, but as I said, past performance will never indicate future results, and they always remind you about it. The next line is past performance based on a lump sum investment. I like this one, even though it doesn't really show you anything new, but it will show you if you invested 10,000 euros in March 2020, how much you would get back in March 2021. So you would get nearly 15,000 back, so you'd make 5,000 euros in just 1 year, which is pretty great. This is obviously a new fund, that's why we cannot see the data from the previous 5 years. We have the data available only from 1 year, but if you open other funds, you will be able also to click here and see the performance from 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, depending on how old the fund you want to invest your money in is. Then if you open the second tab, portfolio data here, I like this one because it shows you interesting information. It shows you the number of stocks, again shows you all the different information regarding the price, and it also shows you the geographical exposure. For this fund, of course, it's 100% Europe because we're looking at the German fund. Obviously, Germany is in Europe. You can see market allocation, it is 100% Germany, and you have a weighted exposure. So you see the sectors of the market that you are going to invest in. You don't have to think much about it, but I think it is important to have the general idea where your money goes. That also works for people who don't want to invest into certain companies, because at the end of the day, you think that your £100 that you want to invest is nothing and it will not make a big change. Probably not if you're alone, but remember that you are never alone and there are a lot of people like you who invest little sums, and this is what Vanguard is made for. It's made for people who don't have a lot of money to invest into all these different companies. This is what these mutual index funds are created for people like us, for people who want to invest starting from small sums of money. That's why it's nice to know where your money goes. And then at the very bottom of this page, you can also see the actual companies that you will invest your money in. If you like Adidas, here you go. 3.5% of your money will go into Adidas. And of course, because there are 159 different items, you have different pages, so you click next and you see the next companies that you will invest in. Here's Volkswagen. I mean, I don't even know some of these companies, but if you want to get more information about these companies, then you can Google about them, what they do, how they make their money, what their future is. This is if you want to get very deep into it. And the last two tabs are distributions, which I never really look at because this is just about how they distribute their income. And the last one is costs and minimums. This is an interesting one because it reminds you again about the ongoing charge, and it also shows you the minimums, so one-off payment of £500 and then a monthly direct debit of £100, and it shows you the cost comparison for a £10,000 investment. You see that an average similar fund you would have to pay nearly $2,000 for, but for this fund you will be paying only this much. I don't know how much this is, about £100 maybe. So you can visually see how much money you save by investing through Vanguard and not through somewhere else. So it may look quite tricky to choose the right fund from the first try, and honestly, all these guys, all the managers who created these funds, they've already thought about many things. They already brought their risks as low as possible, but it still doesn't mean that you can just blindly open the page and invest into the first fund you see. It is still good to understand where your money goes, to properly understand the risks that you are prepared to take on, and to understand how your money will work, how much money you will have to pay back to Vanguard and how much money you will potentially get back. On the other hand, also try not to overthink too much. It's always about balance. I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope the whole Vanguard topic became a bit clearer for you after watching this video. I hope you will decide to subscribe not to miss my next videos, but for today, thank you very much and bye bye.